Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Power Half Hour Unstoppable Business Owner. Tonight's sponsors is The Overcomer. We have exciting news tonight. We actually have our second book coming out today called The Overcomer Playbook. So if you're feeling stuck and on the sidelines of life, meaning, you're stressed out, completely burnt out, have no idea where or what your next step is going to be, I highly recommend that you get on over to Amazon and get your copy today. I will put it in the link. I'll put the link in the comments here for you to get your copy as well. Tonight only, if you are on here and you show up in the comments and you say, I'm in, that gets your name into the draw to win a free copy of the book. So definitely we are here for you. So just put I'm in the comments and your name will go in the draw. As well, we still are having the that fundraiser for Camaraderie Rescue Mission is still going on. We still need to reach our $300,000 goal to help our programs, to help our veterans with PTSD and suicidal ideation. So definitely, if every dollar counts. So if you could go to tinyurl.com/hope for vets to donate, we would greatly appreciate that. Now, I am just super stoked and honored because we have the amazing Russ Johns on the show today. Russ, welcome to the show.
Hello. How are you, Dorothy?
I am amazing. I have to say, I never met Russ until, this last year, but only just recently really talked to the man, and absolutely amazing. We did some fundraising things together, and he was part of the 24-hour fundraiser for Camaraderie Rescue Mission, and we just hit it off. This guy's amazing. Whatever we needed, he was there. And so I thought, what better way? Because my community has never met Russ. So we're going to change that tonight, Russ. So tell our audience.
Thank you. Humbled. Dorothy, appreciate it.
Awesome. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am, a father, a son, and a brother of an amazing family. And I'm here in Arizona. I moved here to care for mom and dad. Dad passed in 2020, and mom just turned 86. And we had a wonderful birthday and had probably 20 people from around the country join us. And the reality is I have invested the last over a decade in helping more people help more people with their content, live streaming, podcasting, and content creation to help increase their visibility. And that's what really intrigues me about, these special events like you have, and what you help develop and deliver is, bringing attention to causes that are so important. And not everybody likes or enjoys dealing with the technology. So I'm the guy in the background that can help, get through that technology challenge and hopefully make it a successful event. So I really appreciate the opportunity to help and contribute to that 24-hour event. And I look forward to many more as well.
Absolutely. We also have Philip Jones, who is actually with us with that event as well. So thanks for joining us, Philip.
Hey, Philip.
So what made you decide to go into streaming? Now I've heard the Pirate Syndicate, and tell me more about that, because that sounds very intriguing as well.
Well, I grew up in the radio industry. I watched, I started in advertising. I started in advertising actually in 1985. And so I've been in and out of the business for a long time, but radio, I was managing radio stations in Houston, and along with radio, I was live streaming high school varsity sports to AM radio and helping business owners learn about podcasting. And then, that was back in 2012, 2013, and podcasting was, developing, and live streaming. I really enjoyed the opportunity to actually just jump in front of a camera and bring some content live. And I love the interaction where you didn't have a net, you didn't have editing, you didn't have to go through the whole editing process. So we could just jump on, have a conversation, and take it wherever it goes.
Right.
And the idea of not having to edit that and actually add a lot of production overhead allowed us to create more content for different organizations. And so I got into that early days of Blab. And the Pirate Syndicate is actually a nod to the radio industry, where if you don't have an FCC license, you're considered a pirate broadcaster. And where the internet has allowed us to become the media. You are the media, Dorothy. Everybody that's online has the opportunity to become the media, where we have a phone in our pocket, we have a camera in our pocket, we have a microphone in our pocket, and we can actually produce results. So being a pirate, I also promote this idea that kindness is cool and smiles are free, because you don't know where people are in their world. You don't know, who's challenged by whatever happens to be going on. And so just help be a pirate, be a kind pirate, and put stuff out there that's going to help other people. And my mission in life is to help more people. So that's how it has evolved over time. And for the last 4 years, I've produced over 1,000 live streams, and probably equal to that as many podcasts. So it's just, it's a groove I've just developed, and if I can help more people, so be it.
I love that. And that's probably why, we get along so well, because we both help people.
Yeah. Well,
it's funny.
You have such a giving heart. You have such a giving heart, Dorothy. I love that.
Well, thank you. I do. And sometimes it gets me into trouble. But, it's only because I've allowed it, though, really. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like I'd rather have a giving heart than be completely bitter and closed off.
Absolutely.
I've actually been that too. So it's taken years of the healing therapy and making different choices to say, hey, just put it all aside, because really, what's the point in being miserable?
Well, I think you said it best before we got online. Is I think establishing boundaries and setting those boundaries and knowing when we have to say no, and when we have to say, okay, it's time for a break. I've met my threshold. I know I need to take a break and have a little me time. And that self-awareness can take us so much further than just randomly going through life and not knowing what our purpose is. And once we establish some of those goals and boundaries, and help a few people along the way, we can learn how to make those adjustments. And we're not always perfect. And, I still stumble every day, something goes awry, not what we expected. And let's give ourselves permission to be okay with that.
Absolutely. I love that you said that. I swear you're the second person to actually be in my mail today. I had a meeting at noon, and the woman was talking about video content creation and stuff like that. And, just say what's on your heart, and don't overthink it. And I'm like, so that spoke to me, and there's something else that spoke to me. And I'm like, well, you know what? The last 2 weeks, I've really taken the gas pedal off from what I was, quote unquote, balls to the wall, working from 4 a.m. till 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I know, right? And then 2 weeks ago, it's just like, oh, no wonder why, you're kind of a little bit stressed out and tired. So these last 2 weeks, I've done a lot less being on social media. And it's funny because, well, one of my goals is to have the biggest production company in the world and to be the next Oprah Winfrey, my style. And it's funny because different doors are opening. Like, instead of having 20 phone calls in a week, I'm having, or sometimes in a day, I'm having maybe 10 in the week, and those 10 are like insane. And it's just like doors are opening that I never would have expected, you know? And it's just like, I don't know if where it's going to go. And normally I'd be like, yeah, let's see where it goes, and just like pushing it. And I'm like, no, just chill.
Yeah.
God will reveal it when it's time. Right now, you're getting little chunks here and there. And yeah, so I'm learning. Like you said, I'm totally learning. Although, because I have this addiction to reading books, romance books, and it's taken over my life the last 2 weeks. And I'm like, okay, I really need to stop reading that.
Yeah, my addiction is learning, and so I'll get caught in the loop and be studying something, and all of a sudden I look up and it's 2:00 in the morning. I'm thinking, this is not. I need to be spending a balanced amount of time on this, not a tremendous amount of time on this. And the funny thing about it, though, is once you set your intention on what your goal is, and then just let it go and say, okay, I'm working toward this. I'm putting activity and I'm taking action on this. It seems to unfold in front of us. However, one of the questions I always ask, and I like to ask this question, is what creates belief? Because you have to believe in the outcome. And you know, you have a clear goal. You want to have the largest production company in the world. And that clear goal and that mission, it doesn't require you to have all of the steps along that journey. You just you're taking action daily. Your intention is there. Your mission is online. And you just have to go through the left turns and the right turns and the ups and downs of going through the journey. Because every experiment turns into experience, which allows us to take conversations and develop those conversations into outcomes. And I think that's extremely important. I was talking with Rob Botts on, I have a show every Wednesday at 12:15 Pacific Standard Time called Love My Dub Show. And Dub is a platform that I used to do outreach and follow up and creativity. And we were talking about the three stages of success, you know, 3 tips for success. And it's, you know, you have outreach, you have client interaction, and then you have follow-up. And you have systems for each one of those, so you can continue to maintain this direction that you've already set in place for your intention.
Right.
And so as you build those and adjust them and modify them along the way, depending on life situations, that's when the magic happens.
Absolutely. And you know, sometimes we have the picture. Okay, so we have the clear picture, and I'm the type of person that just goes after it like crazy. But then God's been telling me to slow down a little bit and giving me warning signs. I'm not saying I'm in bad health, but I just had a couple things go a little bit crazy this week, so I'm like getting it checked out. I'm fine, but you know, it's a clear indication. You know, medical history is not that great. So, what am I doing it for, right? And yes, it's there. And somebody said to me, "You have to enjoy the journey." Yes, and that spoke to me last week, because I'm like, I just like, it was, and somebody, I've been getting this message clearly. Enjoy the wins. Enjoy the journey as you go. You don't have to be full speed. Okay, I achieved that. What's next? What's that? And never really embracing and acknowledging what you actually just accomplished.
Yeah.
Like, November just started yesterday. And if I looked and seen what I did in October, I was just like, I did all that and worked a full-time job. No wonder why I'm tired.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, and this is the rule that I follow, is I wake up with gratitude. You know, I've lived a very full life, broken every limb on my body, you know, fractured my skull and had, you know, life-threatening injuries. And I feel it when I get up and I say, gratitude for this feeling because I know I'm living.
Yep.
And, I have a roof over my head. I have, the opportunity to connect with wonderful people like yourself. I have, mom I can care for, and I have a purpose and a passion. And the reality is we often forget the small things that add up to the big things. And
Absolutely.
we have to remind ourselves that and not beat ourselves up because,
Yeah.
it is a journey, and
Yeah.
live in the moment. Let's not think about what went wrong yesterday or what could go wrong tomorrow. Let's just make sure that we're doing what we can right now.
I love that, and I had a coach tell me, oh, well, the work's going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
So whether you get it all done today, it doesn't really matter. And I had this 2 projects that were due. So I did the one last weekend and I started on the second one. And Sunday, I usually take Sunday. I don't go into my office.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very faithful with that. But then I was like, oh, this project's been over my head for a long time. I need to get it done. So I started it, and then I asked for an extension. I've never asked for an extension before on a project ever.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, that person came back and said, well, how long do you need? And I said, just till next Monday. She goes, I'll tell you what, I'm behind on it anyway. So you have 2 to 4 weeks. I'm like, okay.
All right. All right.
I'm just thinking.
You put it out there, and all of a sudden you get more than you asked for.
Exactly.
Gratitude, right?
Absolutely. And I like how you said you start your day with gratitude, because that's the first thing. I go into meditation for 10 minutes and then I write down 5 things I'm grateful for every morning. Well, sometimes the weekends are kind of off. I'm not going to lie to God. Okay. I do take the weekends off sometimes.
Give yourself permission to be okay with that, Dorothy.
I know, right? And see, I'm my own worst critic. But this is all, and I'm saying this and I'm being vulnerable and authentic to everybody because everybody thinks that I have it all so together, and I really don't.
Well, we have moments of being together, right?
Moments, yes.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Moments of having it together, and everybody's just like, I had a publisher say to me the other day, she goes, I just want to be like you. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah, walk a week in my shoes and you'll try to change your mind, right?
I'm like,
and that's one of the challenges we have to live with in this situation. We're living in the most amazing time in the history of humanity. And I say that because I think back when, 100 years ago, and the changes that have taken place in the last 100 years.
Yeah.
And I think back and I think, okay, we are now able to communicate and have a conversation across the country, around the world, build relationships and have friendships all over. And we can turn handshakes into hugs every single day because of the opportunity we have to connect just like this.
Right.
The reality is it's also a double-edged sword because we also have more interruptions. We have more distractions than ever before. And information is coming at us at, the speed of sound, the speed of light, and the speed of YouTube. So it's something that we have to kind of step back and step away from and say, I give myself permission to, turn it off, leave it alone, and go do something. Walk outside for a minute, listen to the trees and the birds and look at the sky and think about something simple. And boredom allows creativity to take place. So it's always good to get bored once in a while.
Really? Because when I get bored, I overthink. So see, I think for me, okay, I'm telling on myself, but I go into spurts. I'll go into spurts where, okay, I tell myself to chill and I bring myself down. And then there's moments where, nope, it's like all out.
Yeah.
And then when I know I need a break is when I have to sit on my hands to keep still. Like
Yeah.
I pop up on my chair. I'm having supposed to have a quiet night with my husband, and then I can't sit still. I pop out of my chair, even to go do the littlest things. Keep in mind that is a trait that I get honestly from my father, because my father was like that, could never sit still
Yeah.
until the last week of his life, literally. And it was, but then I noticed when I'm at that level, okay, wait, I gotta calm myself down. And sometimes you don't even realize you go from hyper aware to, and so finding that balance, and I'm still tweaking it.
Yeah. Well, and it's a lifetime goal, and that's what I say is enjoy the journey. And I'm the same way in a lot of respects. I have over workaholic tendencies.
Mm-hmm.
I can sit and focus on something for hours, and I can lose track of time. And during my work careers in and out of corporate institutions, I sometimes had a tendency to be late to going home, and missing meals and dinners and activities. And it's not necessarily something to be proud of. However, it's part of who I am, and it's part of how I grew up. And I love what I do, and I do it for myself and I do it for other people. And
Mm-hmm.
there are times where you just have to accept where you are at the moment, and know that it's okay to be busy, and it's okay to not be busy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. Wow. So, Russ, since I love the conversation that we're having, and I could go on for hours about this, but, and I think, I think we're kind of driving a lot here. We're both similar in a lot of different ways, but we're here today because we want to get your business in front of the world. So, I love that you said you help people be seen, be heard, and be talked about,
Mhm.
and that, I love that. So, what are the 3 things that you help your clients overcome?
The 3 things that are really important when we're talking about creating content is a lot of people are afraid of the camera. They're afraid of the mic. The first time they record themselves, they hate their voice. Is that what I sound like? And the reality is, and the position I take is, as a musician, I grew up playing music, and I always use this analogy of the first note is not the best note. However, the more you practice, the better it becomes, and the more familiar you are with the process.
Right.
And after going through this process, like the first time that you did this, you had a goal that outweighed the fear. And when we release the ego from this process, we get rid of the ego, and we just say, okay, I'm going to do this because it's more important for me to do this than have the regret of not doing it. And we all have a voice, we all have a message, and we all have a mission that we can actually fulfill. And the quickest way right now in this period in history is to create content, share our story, share the value, and share that process that helps more people help more people.
Right.
So the 3 things that I like to do is get them comfortable with whatever content is necessary, build systems and funnels and processes that allow people to get interested, get involved, and get connected to that particular business. And then also build systems that support the outreach, the
Mm-hmm.
connection, and the follow-up, because it's
Right.
all important, and it's a process. And a lot of people are afraid of the technology, and they stop when it comes to developing these systems, and they don't reach their potential. And I help them reach their potential with that.
Love that. Love all of that. So if you're in in the market, you know, to get everything going with your live stream and getting the content, definitely reach out to Russ, because I have a feeling it would be amazing to work with you. So much fun, and you could have, you know, I think it would totally be fun. You know, I'm glad I asked what the Pirate Syndicate was, because I was always thinking that on your shows you would have this pirate hat or some things, but that makes sense what you said about pirate syndication for sure.
Well, I'm much like you, Dorothy. With the Pirate Syndicate, I have a number of people that I've worked with in the past, and there are producers, and we've done events and shows and produced shows for other people. And if you have a show or you have an event and you want to do a hybrid event where it's live, just like we did with Tim, or you have a live event that needs, you know, to be shared across the social media, you know, let's talk, let's have a conversation, because creating that content really allows brands and business owners to actually amplify their message. It allows you to actually, instead of broadcasting over radio where you don't know who it's going to be connecting with, you can actually focus that attention and broadcast it across your community, so your message gets clear and concise, and you have an opportunity to grow and engage your audience in a way that you have never had before. And, you know, growing up in the traditional advertising arena, I'm super excited about the digital age. And social media is challenging. You know, a lot of people just say, hey, well, I'll post some stuff on Facebook and, you know, get some phone calls and stuff like that. And it's not as simple as that. It's getting more challenging all the time. So building communities, building relationships, adding value to your community is going to be increasingly more critical as we go through this digital roadmap that we're going through. And I help you create a map rather than a menu, because, you know, we get confused when we have to make too many choices. It's like going into Chili's or something. So 10,000 choices. Like, no, here's what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. Here's the plan. Here's the strategy. Here's the results we're looking to accomplish. So,
right. I love that. Create the roadmap to get your branding and to your target market. And you're right. You know, there are days that I was like, oh, I get, what's the phrase? I had it before I went to go say it. Stick it and lick it or something. Lick it and stick it. Where you make your content, you put it out, and then, oh, it will reach the right people it's supposed to reach.
Spray and pray.
Yeah. With the algorithm against us in every single platform, you know, that does not work. And not a lot of times. I mean, now, granted, we could have a video that goes viral.
Sure.
There's always that. I mean, I had one post go viral. And that was amazing. I had like 255 comments. I was just like, wow. Oh no, 2,544 comments is what I had off one post. And I was just like, wow, that's crazy. And then like, okay, so what do you do with that? Yeah. Then you contact them all.
Well, and that's
build relationships.
And, you know, we had a conversation earlier this week about, with somebody I was talking to about the idea. In fact, it was D. Scott Smith on Author Adventure on Tuesdays. That episode, we talked about how you can only manage so many relationships at one point in time. And it's anywhere from 100 to 150 relationships actively. And a lot of business owners, if they received 1,000 people at their door, they couldn't manage it. You know, you talk about Oprah. The Oprah effect has killed a lot more businesses than we'd like to imagine, I'm sure, because of the overwhelming response they received by having a large audience exposure. And a lot of us need to grow a little more systematically. We need to grow in an appropriate way where we can manage and support and develop those relationships that we can actually provide quality service and support over time. And, you know, if it's transactional, that's okay. But I mean, even transactions, if you're manufacturing widgets or some piece of equipment or something, you know, you can't ramp up overnight and have, you know, go from 10,000 to 100,000 to $1 million, and expect to, that's a huge jump in, cash flow and everything that goes along with business. So
Absolutely.
the imagination of likes are going to save my business or grow my business is not as important as I think building the relationships with the people that are specifically going to help your business. And those are the fans that are going to talk to other people about your business and share your value and share the benefits of working with you. And that's really, I think, going to be more important and critical in the future as we move forward.
Absolutely. I love all of that. Love all of that. I totally agree. And we as somebody who is a high achieving person, I want it all yesterday. That $60 million production company, I wanted it back in July.
Yeah.
But God's like, okay, could you handle that right now? Considering, you have to get the staff in place for that. You got to get, even an intern would be amazing. Right. And just the help. And, Erica Rankin, I believe is her name, she's from Toronto, Ontario here. She is Brodo. I've watched her. She's mostly on LinkedIn, I've noticed, or that's where I've seen her anyways. And she grew Brodo in her apartment and is now distributing it across stores in Canada. And she said that was one of the biggest things that she had the biggest takeaway from being an entrepreneur and being a big business owner is, knowing when to say, okay, I can't do this by myself anymore. I need people. I need employees. Right. And as an overachiever that you just want to do it all. And, there's like the trust factor, I guess, of a lot of people that have those trust issues. It's harder for them. But still, like it's taking the clutch, opening it up and allowing yourself to, in order to expand, you need that team. And that's what I've definitely learned this year too, for like 100%.
Well, control, allowing others to help contribute. And sometimes, we feel that that's a threat. However, it can be an advantage because there are people out there that are much more talented than I am in different areas of the business. I can't be an expert in everything. So what I like to think about is delegate and die. Delegate or die. Because if you can delegate what you least like to do and apply that to somebody, or even a VA temporarily or part-time, and you can say, okay, this task, you own it, you love it, you breathe it. This is what you do. This is what you enjoy. Here, you do it better than I can, even better than I ever wanted to achieve.
Right.
And then you apply that to multiple disciplines within your organization. Then all of a sudden you have a bunch of people that are happy and excited about doing what they love to do. And they're contributing to what you do not like to do. And it's a different way of thinking about it. How can I replace things I don't enjoy with people that enjoy doing what I don't enjoy? And then building a team around that. And I think there's a lot of value in that kind of philosophy in how we can actually think through those challenges and turn them into opportunities.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Man, there's been a lot of nuggets on this show tonight. And I love what you said, take your experiment to experience. I love that. I've been writing the whole time I write when I'm talking to somebody. I may not look like I'm paying attention to you, but the entire time I'm writing down quotes and nuggets. And because I love, like you said, I love to learn from people. So thank you. Yeah. That is absolutely amazing. And I know that we're past the half hour here, so we'll wrap this up. Where is the best place for somebody to reach you, Russ, if they would like to get a hold of you?
Well, I'm always on LinkedIn. And if you want to book a call, you can go to bookruss.com. I'm available. Russ Johns, you can search Russ Johns anywhere. And my site, russjohns.com, you can access that. And I'm more than happy. There's Tim.
There's Tim. Take your experiment to experience.
Yeah.
He comes in at the last minute to give a quote.
We love Tim. He's awesome.
We do love Tim.
Yeah. And the reality is just search Russ Johns or go to Book Russ and book a call and schedule some time with me.
I was trying to find the screaming goat, but I can't find the screaming goat. It's somewhere on this desk, and trust me, you don't want to see this desk. But thank you so much, Russ. Any last words that you want to leave our guests with tonight?
I just want to remind people that you don't know what people are going through. So always remember, kindness is cool and smiles are free, and you enjoy your day.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks to all our guests in the comments. Don't forget to go get your copy of the Overcomer Playbook on Amazon today. Super excited to have that. Definitely a workbook to get you from being stuck in life and not knowing where you want to go to creating that roadmap to where you want to go and having the life of your dreams. So if that's you, definitely get your copy today. The links are in the comments. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, Russ, for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us. I can see you coming back on again, but I'll have to put you on the Monday night in the new year.
Anytime, Dorothy. Happy to continue. So
absolutely.
thank you, everyone.
Amazing. All right. See you next week, guys.